Hi, my name's Mike and I'm from Melbourne, Victoria, and this is my little beast, 1991 Range Rover Vogue, or at least it was once. It's had just a few modifications, as you're about to find out, and mate, this thing is an absolute beast. It'll go pretty much anywhere. The bull bar, as you can see, mate, solid ARB bar. We've got some big kick-ass tow hooks put on the front, so all those little sooks that get stuck, we can yank them out pretty quickly. We've got the big high lift mount at the front there. We've got a couple of the old CB Oscars, a couple of aerials for the CB and for the phone. Have a look at these babies. Big 36 by 12.5 Cymex centipedes. Basically the same as the Super Swampers, only I reckon better. Check out the size of the lugs on those things. Now obviously to fit these under here, we had to do a big 4-inch body chassis lift, and that included things like lengthening brake lines and all those sort of things that you come to understand when you have a look close underneath. One of the other main things that we did, we found that obviously when you lift the Range Rovers up, they tend to really wallow around a little bit. So to combat that, we've fitted pretty much a one-off, actually I think there's two, G-Force fully active suspension system. Again, we've got that full active suspension set up, but in the rear we've still actually got the original twin Bilstein shock set up as well. Now the diffs are full McNamara diff locks, both front and rear, and they've also got cryogenically frozen axles as well. We do go through quite a bit of fuel, as you can imagine. So what we did, we had to fit some long range tanks, and as you can see, big solid 60 litre tanks, one on each side. Now, not that you're ever likely to puncture one of these things, but obviously you do need to carry around a spare. So that was a feat in itself, getting a tyre this size onto a rear wheel carrier. So what we had to do, as you can see, is we had to completely lengthen the shaft so that we could actually fit the tyre on. We've even had to put a double mount here rather than just the single top bearing mount. And we've even had to modify the actual carrier itself to hold the weight of the wheel. Now, consequently, because of the length of that, we've had to shorten the actual jerry can holder, and we've even got a little gas strut on the back of that to hold it in position as well. Now, all of this is mounted to a rock solid ARB bar, again with your big tow hooks on the back there, and didn't stop there. I even had to make my own custom-made tow bar just so I can still get my jet ski around. Okay, so now the juicy bit, the guts of it all, the engine bay. As you can see, the main feature here obviously is the big M112 Eaton supercharger that sits atop a late model Range Rover 4.6 HSE engine. We've obviously done forged pistons, we've redone camshafts, all the valves and seat, everything's been done to be able to handle the extra boost of the supercharger. Also, we've got a custom-made air box, which has all been fully fitted in. We've got a cold air intake for when you're running around on the road, so you get maximum airflow, and then we've obviously got the snorkel as well for when you're running around off-road to protect the internals a little bit extra. Now the big key here is the water methanol injection system. As you can see, the hose here runs direct into the intake, so at the right RPM and under the right load, it's all controlled by a uni-chip, and that gives that extra protection, making sure the supercharger's always running cold, always running at optimal temperature. And on this side of the engine bay, the main point here is the valve block with the pendulum. Now that's what controls that whole G-Force active suspension system. The cylinder here holds all the power steering fluid, and that's what gets pumped via this valve block to those rams to keep everything level. Interior-wise, as you can see, we've got the big DVD screen up the front there on the dash. That's controlled by a unit that sits under the seat. We've got a couple of GPS units here. We've got the phone cradle. We've got a CB unit as well. There's a late model sunroof fitted in it as well, and we've also got a full rail cage. Sport steering wheel, so let's go take it for a drive.